Hello and welcome to today's webinar, How Well Do You Know Your ShareFile Admin Settings? My name is Michelle and I will be your moderator. Well, with me today, I have Christina Ritter. Christina is one of our wonderful customer success managers who works with customers like you every day to ensure your account is being optimized. Welcome, Christina.
Hi, everybody.
Great. Well, we are really excited about our agenda today. This is a new webinar for our customers, and it's something that you guys have been asking for. So today, Christina will be giving a quick overview for any of our new admins who have joined us, or if you just need a refresher. Then we'll get into why you're here today with a deep dive into the admin tab. And finally, we'll close out with some training options to ensure you feel ready to use these features. We're going to go over a lot of great content today, so please ask questions and share your comments by using the question and answer panel at any time during our webinar. And of course, as always, we are recording our webinar and we will be sharing that recording out with you shortly after the conclusion today. All right, Christina, let's get started.
All right, so as Michelle just overview for everybody on some of the ways to get started as an administrator. So whether you are brand new to ShareFile and you just purchased, or maybe you just haven't had the time to get as much done in your account as you would have liked to, I'm going to pull us into my ShareFile account and just remind you of how to add your users in some very popular ways to set up your folders. So pulling up my ShareFile account for us, I'm going to get signed in here. And you might not have used all of your users. So a good way to check is to go to your People tab and then your Manage Users homepage. From here, you're able to create all of your employee users. And all you need to do is put in their name, their email address. You can modify all of the user settings that you want them to have. You can begin adding them to folders and click Create. Something else that is helpful when you're adding all of your users is considering whether or not you're ready for them to start logging in and using immediately. So if the folders aren't set up, or if you don't feel confident enough yet in how to maneuver through, and we give you the option to skip it so that you can later come to this tab that says Resend Welcome Emails and send them out once you're fully set up and fully comfortable with how to use it. You also can always use ShareFile as a way to create client users if you want to set up a full-blown client portal. Many of you are on account types with unlimited storage, and so that means you can have as many files in here as you need. So a brilliant way to use this would be to set up either a client portal or a project portal, and you can share your folders not only internally, but also externally with other users. And for both client and employees, you're able to import them in bulk. So if you have a huge company with 50 plus users, or if you have hundreds of client users, you're able to download this Excel template, fill it out with their names and emails, and then upload it here to import everybody at once. So this is a huge time-saving measure. Once all of your users are in, you are always able to go back and peek over them. You can click into any of their names to change up some of their permissions. So maybe you need to give another colleague a little bit more of administrative privileges. You can come in here and manipulate these. And as a little tip, everything that's checked is a standard employee privilege. Everything that's unchecked is an admin privilege. So if a lot of you are thinking, yep, I'm the admin on the account, the main admin in fact, then you should have everything checked. Or if you're an admin and you're considering giving some of your other trusted employees some of your admin rights, you can always come in here and add them and remove them as you see fit. Same things go for your client users. You can always come in here, change their settings, or remove them from the account if needed. Now, just to show you a few of my sample folders to get your wheels turning, there are infinite ways for you to use this storage. So just take advantage of it. Think about all of the different files that you have on your computer. So if I pull over my File Explorer here, I can click into my documents, my desktop, any of my servers, and you can actually move all of this into the cloud. Now, the benefits of this are many. So first, that means you can get all of this off your hard drive and free up some space. The second is by putting it in ShareFile, you don't have to be changing your computer. And all of your employees can now access these files safely from any device. So from a smartphone, from a tablet, from their home computers, all they have to do is log in online and they can get to their files. So you see here, I actually have a cloud-based shared drive. So I migrated everything off of my traditional server and put it in this online, server, if you will. You can also just create team folders. So put all of your important employee internal documents here. Or you can create a client portal. So here I've created a main level folder called clients, and all of my clients are in here as subfolders. I've created each one of these people as a free client user and added them to their folder. So again, the possibilities are endless. Just be creative and start to think, how can I get things off of my servers or my hard drives, off my desktop, and make use of all of this ShareFile storage space that you have. Now, if you're not sure how much storage you have, you can always click on your admin settings. And if you have unlimited, it will say up to unlimited here. If you do not have unlimited, it will give you a total amount of gigabytes that you have. If you're thinking, I might want to be upgraded to one of your newer plans, go ahead and just type that into the Q&A, and then we'll reach out after and tell you more about the different plan type options. All right, so I just wanted to do a brief overview to really kind of get your creative juices going, but think about all the different ways you can make use of this. I am going to turn it back over to Michelle here as we move on to the next big piece of our agenda here.
Great. Thank you, Christina, for that refresher. I think we already got some wheels turning just with that brief view, so thank you so much. So let's get into the meat of today's webinar, which is really learning how to make the most out of your admin settings by maximizing control over the users in your account so that using ShareFile is a consistent experience for everyone on your account, and it's as easy as possible for you and all of your users as well. So Christina's going to move on and dive right into 7 admin features that she thinks that would be really useful for you guys to go in and update. Go ahead, Christina.
Absolutely. So the first feature that I'm going to do a deep dive into within your admin settings tab is branding your account. This might be something that half of you have already done, but for the other half, that means I've got a few example accounts. Now, if I log out of mine, this is the standard default. So this is what everyone's account will look like if it is not branded. You've got the green background, green sign-in button, and the ShareFile logo. And that's great. And that shows that you're using a very secure company, but you can actually customize almost anything you want about this page. So to show you just a few examples, here of an account that wanted just a clean white background, more neutral colors, and just their company logo here, the UNCW Seahawk. And here's an example of someone who really wanted to make it look vibrant and colorful and fun. You can change the background, you can upload any logo, and really adjust that color scheme. So now that we're looking back at the standard one again, you might be thinking, you know what, you're right. I would love to get this ShareFile account to really match the image of my true company's account website. So this not only lets it look to your customers like you are really assimilating your ShareFile account to your account, but it almost makes it so seamless that they think it's just a part of your website in general. Now, if I sign in, there are 2 different ways I can show thing done. The first is you can do it yourself. So if you like to play around with things and explore, then I encourage you to go into your settings, into your admin settings, and into the company account info. Here we have a tab called Edit Company Branding. So when you scroll down here, you'll see you've got options to manipulate the logos, the accent colors, and this might be easy to miss, but we have a link here, Edit Advanced Appearance Options. So within here, you have options for the header that you might want to adjust, for the login page, the background image. So you can add text, you can add terms and conditions to agree to, you can change up the color scheme and add any logo of your choice. Now, if you are not really one to want to play around with this and explore, then by all means, leave it up to us to do it. All you have to do is email our branding team, and everybody go ahead and grab your pen or pencil and a sheet of paper. The email address that you will want to use is branding@sharefile.com. Again, just branding@sharefile.com, and you'll just email them with either a copy of your logo saved, or you can just email them a link to your company site, and you can actually capture the logo off of that company site and help you brand it. And this is all free, by the way, so definitely take advantage of it and make your ShareFile account seem even more integrated into your company. All right, so I'm going to bring us back here to the second admin feature you might not know you had control of, which is configuring your ShareFile apps and tools. Now this one again is buried a little bit into that admin settings tab. So all of the different apps, I'm going to pull back up here, all the different apps that you see on this page, you can configure to some extent with all of them if you want your employees using them at all. And then with the Outlook tool, you are able to control all of the settings and notifications for your account. Now we know how easy the Outlook plugin is for everybody. However, configuring the settings and making sure everyone who works in your company is choosing the correct settings can be the biggest challenge of using this tool successfully. So if I come here to the settings and back into the admin settings, and once more, we're going to come into advanced preferences and then enable ShareFile tools. I don't want any of my employees using sync. I don't want them to keep local copies. Maybe you work in healthcare and it might go against part of your HIPAA regulations. For whatever reason, if you don't want any of your colleagues using these, you can just disable them and click Save at the bottom of the screen, and that will be an account-wide setting. It will completely remove that app off of the apps page. The one that I think is really neat, again, is for the Outlook plugin. So for anyone that has not used this tool and you're an Outlook user, you're able to safely send ShareFile attachments out of Outlook. Now, within Outlook, just to show you what I'm referring to, we have the plugin options here. And every user is responsible for editing their own. And these are really important settings, determining whether or not the recipients of your email have to sign in, determining how many downloads there are, if you want your users to be notified. So I'm going to pull back up my ShareFile account and show you guys where in ShareFile you're able to configure it. So by clicking this button, you are able to set the defaults for all of the employee users in your account, and you're even able to lock it down and prevent those users from changing it. So for example, expiration. I run a very high security business. I need to keep it at a week only. Set it as the default, click Prevent User Changes, and save. This will now enforce all of your employees to email Outlook ShareFile attachments that will only have a week for their security. And everything in here is going to be parallel to what you see within the plugin options in your Outlook. So whether you want the banner or not, whether you want the download level to be for anonymous, for name and email, or for login. So again, come in here, configure everything, and take the work away from your employees. You're in control, you control security, you control expirations, and the best part is that way you don't have to worry about your employees picking the wrong part. All right, and again, just to show you where we got that one, it's admin settings, advanced preferences, enable ShareFile tools. All right, time to get to the next one, which is password and security settings. Again, a big part of ShareFile is security, not only storage. So I want to make sure you guys know that you can control some of the password and security settings. You can change the password requirements. So if you want it to be longer than 8 characters, if you want it to have more than one number or a special character, you just come in here and change that for all your users. You also can control if you want two-step verification enabled. And what this means is if you want more than just a password, but if you want a PIN sent to a user's phone, you can enable this for an account-wide setting, and then every user is able to enable this in their personal settings, allowing them, when they log in, to be texted a special code that they then have to enter. So it's a two-step verification process to log in. So again, if you're in a regulated industry, you might want to consider enabling this second step of verification to get texted that code. You can have people locked out after a certain number of failed attempts or a certain number of minutes. You can enable terms and conditions, as I mentioned, and the branding team is who you would want to contact for that. And you're also able to log people out after a certain amount of time that they're inactive. So this, might not be relevant for everybody, but it's just important to know how much control you have over security, because in your company. The fourth admin setting, which I absolutely love, is called folder templates. Now, again, if you're not seeing any of these in your account, go ahead and let us know in the Q&A, because you might be on an older plan type, and we can have someone reach out and upgrade you. So the folder templates are, if you have a series of folders, think client folders, project folders, site folders, and you break those folders down even more into other subfolders, it probably takes you a good bit of time to recreate that same subfolder structure over and over. So what you can do is just create a template. Save the template after you make it, and with one click, you can apply that folder structure to any group of folders that you'd want. So I'm going to go ahead and show you where that feature lives. Again, it's admin settings, advanced preferences, and folder templates. So from here, you're able to create as many different templates as you need, depending on how many different folder types you have. Just to show you a few examples, I have an accounting template. So this is the client level folder, and within each client folder, I need an 8879 folder and a tax year folder, and I need that tax to recreate this for each one of my 500 clients. So I build it, finish it, and then save it, and I can apply it to all the other clients. All right, the criminal law here is, think if you're a lawyer and you might need to break down all of your case folders into additional subfolders as well. And just one last example is the real estate folder. If you work with properties, there are so many documents that you need to get finished and completed and saved, from agency docs to buyers agencies, contracts, and property disclosures. So again, I'm just going to show you really quickly how to create a new template, put in a name, and this is just internal. And now this is the template that you're creating. So imagine this folder here is the folder that you're going to be applying the template to. So maybe I need to create a folder for quarterly reports for quarter one. Maybe I need a second folder for quarter two. And you can just come in and keep building the folder out. So now within my folders, I can build additional layers. When you're done, you'll click Finish and Save. And then you can apply this template to either one singular folder or an entire on this accounting folder template. And when I navigate into my folder portal and choose the folder to apply it to, it tells you right here the template will be associated with all subfolders of the selected folder. So if I click my client's root level folder and expand it just to show you, I have so many folders inside of here, but by clicking apply to the folder called clients, this template is being applied to every single one of these client folders in just one click. Now to show you one last way to apply it, if I create a new folder, I can say use a folder template. You might not have noticed this was down here. Come in and, oops, it's given me a little bit of trouble with the screen share, but I can come in and here we go up. Choose the template that I want to apply to it, click create folder, and now it created my root level and applied this template. So if I click into tax year, it's even showing all of those inside. So again, it saves you tons of time building different folder structures. These are all admin permissions. The one managing and applying these, you'll need to add these admin permissions to them from your People tab. All right, moving right along to our fifth feature, the file drop. So a file drop is a really great way to put a ShareFile link on your company's website that any visitor to your site can use to upload a saved document to someone in your company. Again, it's a ShareFile link that you embed on your website, and anybody that visits your site, whether they're a client or a prospective client, they can click the link, upload a document with our secure encryption, and they actually choose who in the company they want to send it safely to. So to show you this fantastic feature, coming in here to the settings, and then the admin settings, the advanced preferences again, and the file drops right here. Now, you can create as many file drops as you need, and essentially it's about a 10-second setup process on the ShareFile end. You click Create New File Drop, give it a name. I'll just keep using my tests for you lovely webinar attendees. And you'll want the visitors to be able to select employee in the company needs to receive the file. And they'll also have to put in their name and email address so that you know when you get sent the document who actually sent it to you. Now I'm going to click Create File Drop. Select whoever in your company you want to be visible to be chosen to send the file to. Click Save, and it's done. So now all you have to do is come to your link you just made and click right here. This is the link that you want to copy and give to your website editor, and they will be able to put this link on your website so that anyone can upload to you. Now this company has a beautiful file drop. They took that link from their admin settings and had their website developer put it here. So when I visit their website, I can click Upload Files, and if you notice, it actually took me to their ShareFile account. But I'm not a ShareFile user for them. I'm just a client of theirs. I can come here and say who I want to send my file to. I can browse for whatever file I might need and click Upload. Now, when I click Upload, it is going to send this document with secure encryption to Andy Smith's email inbox to download my secure attachment. So I'll click Upload, and I'll get a success message. And just like that, I was able to send a secure ShareFile attachment to this user at the company. And again, you don't have to be a ShareFile user to do that. It's anybody who visits this website. All right, I just love that feature. Coming back to our next one here, connectors. Now, we just hosted a connectors webinar, but I just want to recap for anyone that wasn't able to attend. You have the ability to connect your ShareFile account to other storage repositories that you might also be using. So think if you are also on Box, OneDrive, Google Drive, Dropbox, we can connect to those with you. So this one is easier to show. Now within your admin settings tab, you have a whole tab dedicated to connectors. As the admin, you get to decide which connectors are enabled for the entire account. This is totally up to you. The ones on the top are the ones I've already enabled that came from this list down here that I've not yet enabled. So you can see OneDrive, SharePoint, Google Drive, Box, and Dropbox. You add and enable them from the bottom. Once you add them, they will appear up here as the managed enabled connectors. And once you enable them for the account, all of your employees will then need to go into their personal settings to enable it for themselves. So then after you enable it for the account, from the personal settings, each user comes to their My Connectors page to enable it for themselves specifically. Now from here, each user will only see the connectors that you deemed okay. So I chose these 4 to be the enabled for all of my users. And I've connected Google Drive and OneDrive. The administrator also said Dropbox and Box are okay, but I've chosen personally not to connect to those ones. Now from the folders, this is where they will live. So now this is a window into the connectors. I'm not actually storing all of my Google Drive and OneDrive files in here. It's just letting me peek into those accounts, grab the files out, and then work with them in ShareFile. So if I click into, for example, OneDrive for Business, it will go ahead and basically connect me into that account, and I will be able to see inside to all the folders that are in my OneDrive. Now, again, it looks like they're in ShareFile, but it's tricking you, they're not. I'm just able to click into these folders, see the files that are in OneDrive, and the beauty of it is you might want to keep them in OneDrive, and that's fine. But you can take this file, download it, or what you really might want to do is copy it and move it into ShareFile. So I can come in here, copy it out of OneDrive or any other repository, and put it into ShareFile so that then I can share it safely with our security in a ShareFile folder, or I can safely email it out to another user with our security, or even send it for signature with our e-signature tool, or send it off for feedback with our feedback tool. So you might be thinking again, I don't get it still, why would I have ShareFile and Google Drive? Keep things stored where you want, stored in Google Drive if that's best for you, but then use our collaboration and security features to work with the document. All right, guys, one last admin setting for today is the reporting tool. So some of you have been asking, I want to keep a closer eye on the activity in my account. Who is logging in? Who is accessing what folder? Or you can view, I should say, all of that. So if I pull back up ShareFile, go to the settings, and then the admin settings, it's going to be in company account info. Now from here, I can click on the reporting, and I can choose to run reports based on any of these following items. When I click Create Report, I'm able to create a report based on usage, access, messages sent out of my accounts, as well as storage and bandwidth in the account. Now, if you want to know, hey, is this user logging in? Are all of my users logging in? Who is accessing what folders? For example, based on usage, I'll click Next, and I can run a report based on any date range I want for the entire account, one particular user, or one particular folder based on all of these action items. You can make this a recurring report to run maybe every Friday afternoon or every Monday morning, maybe once a month. And then it generates as an Excel as a default so that you're easily able to view all of this in Excel format. Again, if you want to keep an eye on bandwidth and storage, outgoing messages, this does link to the Outlook plugin. So if this is all here for you to control as the admin of your ShareFile account. And once it is done uploading, it will have a green check mark and it ran successfully, and you are able to click on it You can see it's downloading, and I could then pull up this report to monitor all the activity. I know that was a lot, and I hope it was new for most of you. Again, really consider how you can use all of these different admin settings to your advantage to control your account and to control the users with the correct security. If you're thinking, that's great, but I need some help, you're not alone. So we have two options for you for training. The first one is a Smart Start, and this is a live training program. You will either be assigned to work with me or one of my teammates for 30 days for 99 bucks, and you get assigned one of us for those 30 days to build a custom training plan that meets exactly your company's needs. So we'll make sure everyone in the company is up and running using the most efficient practices and workflows, and by day 30, you guys should now be getting the most out of your account with us. If you want to learn more, when we email this out to you, you'll be able to click here to essentially let us know you're interested. Or we have a for getting started, advanced tools and tips, as well as industry best practices. So this is a free option for those of you that are into the self-help. Otherwise, we do have our tech support team as well. They're here 24/7 for you to call in if you run into a problem. Thank you for listening. I'm going to turn it back over to Michelle.
Wow, Christina, thank you so much. I know that I just learned a lot, and I'm sure our customers did too, and we have a lot of questions coming in. And I just wanted to give a shout out to Callie and Zach, who are furiously answering questions in the Q&A box right now. They will continue to answer your questions throughout the webinar, and I'm going to present a couple of questions live to Christina right now because they were some questions that a lot of people had. So we're going to start at the top for branding. Actually, that was the one that we did not get very many questions for, but I just wanted to let everyone know again, branding@sharefile.com if you do need assistance with this feature. All right, so for configuring tools, if my users have been using the Outlook plugin with the standard setup, and I go in and update the configuration, will this automatically update their user experience, or is there another action that needs to be taken?
Great question. Thanks, Michelle. This will, if you go in to your admin settings and configure it and save the changes, it will override what their current options are. However, it might take a little bit for it to sync up. I've noticed that oftentimes a computer restart is what really syncs up these settings, but there's no other action needed. If you're just not noticing it immediately, go ahead and do that computer restart, and then all the users will see those changes take effect.
Great. And okay, and is the Outlook plugin is that the only app that you can do this configuring for, or can this be done, let's say, for the desktop app as well?
Good question again. So within, if I hop back in here, there aren't settings, so to speak, for the desktop app. You know, the way that there are expiration or sign-in policies for the Outlook plugin. But what you can do, if when you go into this configure, oops, sorry guys, I'm clicking a little bit too fast in here. When you go into enable ShareFile tools, you are able to disable, for example, the sync and the drive mapper tool, as well as the Outlook plugin. But for the desktop app, to the best of my knowledge, it is not one that you can disable account-wide. But maybe a little known fact is client users are even able to download the desktop app. That's because it is a free app for anybody. So whether you're an employee or a client, that's an app that you can download just as a means to more easily get into the account. And same thing goes for the mobile app. So even free client users are able to download the mobile app and access it. Yep, so as of now, Sync, Drive Mapper, and Outlook plugin are the ones that you can readily disable.
Awesome. So we're going to move on to password and security. We had this question come in several times, and our customers want to know if they can force two-factor authentication on all of their users so that all of their users have to use it.
Such a great question, and I understand the desire for that. Unfortunately, as of now, it is up to the admin to enable it and give everyone else the choice to turn it on for themselves. So as the admin, you cannot force someone into that policy. And I would imagine that's just because not everyone is really on their mobile device all the time or always connected to that. So you can request that they enable it for themselves, but you are not able to force them to use the two-step verification. Great question, though.
Thank you. So moving on to folders, how do I set it up so that my client is always notified when a file has been uploaded to their folder?
Excellent. So that is going to be a really easy one for everyone to go in and make some changes if they like it. All you need to do is click into that client's folder, click on the People on this folder tab, and make sure that your client has upload alerts checked. Whoever name you check this box for is the one who will get notified when uploads happen. So I know sometimes people think of it in the inverse, but whoever's name you're checking this box for is the one who will be notified when other people upload. So in this scenario, when I, the super users, Hey Mitch or John upload to this folder, Katniss Everdeen is the one who will be emailed and be told that that file has been uploaded.
And then when you went over the template and structure in folders, is there a way to restrict access in subfolders if I wanted a client to only be able to access one subfolder in a main folder, but not another one?
You can most definitely restrict access to maybe only one subfolder, or maybe just the root and no subfolders. However, that all has to be manually configured, as it's not the default settings the system applies. So if I come in here to my test folder, and I haven't added anyone yet but myself, so I'll come in here and I will add wonderful Miss Katniss Everdeen again. Now, if I add her to this level folder, she was just added by default into both of these. Now, maybe I only want her to see the 8879 folder and not the tax year. By default, she's in here, right? So what you'd want to do is remove her from the tax year folder. And what that just did is it removed her from tax year and from all of these smaller subfolders. But what it did not do is remove her from the 8879 folder or from the larger one. So any possibility of configuration is available. You just need to manually remove them from the correct stage of subfolders. And you can always double check by clicking here. So I've still got her in my 8879. I just removed her from the tax year. But that's an awesome question, and most definitely.
Great, thank you. So we had a ton of questions come in about file drop. So I have a feeling that this is a feature that is very new to a lot of our customers on the webinar today. So super excited for everyone to start using this. And we had a really great question come in. Before I get to the specific ones, I'm gonna fly up and find this one question because I think it's really important. Chris had the question, if you put file drop on your website, is there any fear that someone will upload a virus-ridden file to your website? And what are the best practices for receiving files to know that it's safe to open them?
Really, really good question, and I am glad you asked. We use a virus scanning software, and I believe it is the McAfee security virus scanning. So anytime a file is uploaded into your ShareFile account, whether it's via the file drop feature or whether it's just into a folder or a request a file link, we scan that for a virus. And that is on by default. Everybody has that. So you don't need to worry about with the file drop, strangers coming and trying to, essentially upload a corrupt file. When they're uploading it, they're not actually uploading it to, in this example, Smith and Wooten. They're uploading it to ShareFile, so it has to pass that, that virus test first. And in the case of file drop, when it's uploaded, where it's actually going on the back end is to that individual's file box. So when somebody is emailed that so-and-so uploaded a document, you'll be able to download the file that they uploaded from the email, but on the back end, you'll also find it here. So technically, it's being scanned for viruses, uploaded to your file box, and then emailed to you in a notification as well. So that's a really great point again. So thanks for these wonderful questions.
Yeah, and then the other main question that was coming in is when you were showing the setup of file drop, can you explain the difference between public and private?
Sure, yeah, and that's a really minute difference, but it is good to mention. So if I hop back in here, every account is given one public file drop, and all that means is that instead of having to have that very long and kind of random assortment of letters and numbers at the end of the link, such as what you're seeing on the end here, you get one that is just your company's ShareFile account / file drop. So that way it's easy to remember in case you're talking to someone and you need to tell them, just upload it via the file drop, use my ShareFile account web address / file drop. So it's just an easy, more convenient way for people to know how to upload. And then after that, you can have as many individual ones as you want, and each one will have a unique link. So if I just come here and actually paste the link, you can see I've got a long assortment of letters and numbers. So it's just a way to make it a memorable web address for you.
Great, thank you. And then for file drop, is there somewhere where I can set up a notification so that when my client uploads a file via file drop, they know that they were successful?
That's a good question. So after the file drop happens, and I'll just come in here and actually do it again, what they just want to keep an eye out for is that success message. Once it finishes and reaches 100, this will pop up. And if it fails, instead they will get a red error message that the upload did not go through successfully. So it's a little small, but hopefully they'll take note of that and then rest assured that it did upload.
Great, thank you. We are getting close to the end, and I just wanted to ensure everybody that I know you have a lot of questions, and we are trying to answer them as quickly as possible. We're not going to get to all of them today, but we do have our customer success team waiting. When the webinar is over, they will get your questions, and they will be emailing you answers to those questions. So if we did not get to your question live, I apologize. We're doing the best we can, and we will get those questions answered after the webinar. So we just had one more question come in about connectors, and that was, are connectors something that are available on mobile?
Good question. Connectors are available on mobile. So if you download our app, again, it's a free app. So if you're on an iPhone, iTunes Store, or the Google Play Store for Android, search the word ShareFile, download the app, and you will see that you have all the same options for folders and connectors from that mobile device then.
Great, thank you. And Christina, I do not right now have the Smart Start link for the landing page. If you have that accessible, could you just pop that into the chat while I wrap things up here? We had several customers ask about that, and I just wanted to make sure they have access to that. If you do not see it pop up in the chat, yep, that one. If you don't see it pop up in the chat or don't have time to copy and paste it, just right now type in your name if you're interested, and I will make sure that we get a response to you about Smart Start. So I know that we learned a lot of new things today, and we all appreciate, Christina, your expertise and time with this. We appreciate everyone showing up today. This was a lot. So yes, we did record. We will be sending you the recording via email. So look out for that. We'll also be putting this recording on our website where our other webinar recordings live, which is at www.sharefile.com/support. You'll see several sections, and one section is called Masterclass Webinars. Click on that, and that's where all our recordings live. Like I said, today's webinar was brand new, so there's not going to be an archived version sitting there right now, but we'll get this version today up by tomorrow. So when you go visit that website tomorrow, it'll be there. And again, it'll also be in your inbox by tomorrow as well. And on that website, you'll see our upcoming October webinars. So be sure to look out for those. You probably received an invite today for those, but if not, look in your inbox and then also check that website out for our upcoming webinars in October. We do have 4, and we're looking forward to seeing you there at those webinars as well. So again, Christina, thank you so much. Great information today. And again, thank you to all of our customers for your participation and your questions. We appreciate you so much, and we will get an answer to those questions if we did not get to you today. So until next time, everyone, please have a wonderful day.
Thank you. Bye.